What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling, and this is a news break. So, Finn Balor has recently had some comments about his current position and his career in WWE, including what led him originally to leave the main roster and head down to NXT and where he wants to be coming back up. But before we get to that, I want to remind you guys, this being YouTube, if you hit the like button, it does unleash a demon within YouTube's algorithm systems that let other people know about this video, so I definitely appreciate it very much. And now back to the topic at hand. One of the things that Balor said, which was a little bit, I don't know if shocking, but it's something that I think a lot of us fans have kind of felt, is he said that he felt he got kind of stale. In a podcast recently called My Love Letter to Wrestling, Balor was with Mark Andrews, and they were talking about a bunch of different stuff about where he fit in the main roster and what was going on during the pandemic. And one of the things he said is that the reason that he went down to NXT is because of the politics and the writers and a lot of other stuff going on with the office and everything that goes with it, and he had enough. Now, that is not a good sign if you're a WWE fan who likes Finn Balor. It's probably a sign that a lot of people outside of WWE in the pro wrestling world are going, "Ooh, yeah, we've been waiting. Come on, guy. Come on back home." I think Balor would be a person that again, AEW being as loaded as it is, but I do think Balor would be somebody AEW would absolutely be interested in, and I kind of would be interested in seeing him do a variation of the Finn heel character, because it seems like that's what he wants to do in AEW. He could also do it in Impact, and of course, despite, well, I was going to say Japan, but if you've looked at the COVID cases in Japan right now, as it's higher than it's ever been. Again, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But he did mention Japan in here, and he was talking about, and I quote, "I would produce a match to get a yay or boo or holy shit, but when you take that element out of it," this is him talking about the pandemic era, "when you take that element out of it, you get back down to the nuts and bolts of what I actually learned in Japan, which is just gritty wrestling." And he talked a lot about, how the pandemic made him not focus so much on the theatrics of the show and really on the match, because you're not wrestling in front of fans for a while, you're wrestling in front of a limited audience, so it's kind of you and the person you're wrestling with or the people you're wrestling with kind of making sure that the performance is correct and everything is tight, and that is really the Japanese style. I find that kind of interesting. And then he goes, well, he thinks his heel turn, even the one in NXT, was kind of not what he wanted it to be. It didn't go the way he wanted it to go, as opposed to his heel turn in New Japan, where obviously that invented one of the most popular factions of all time, Bullet Club. And Finn, you got to keep that in mind. Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, is going to be known for that. And at this point in time, Bullet Club, despite what you think about them then, now, or forever, they are going to go down as one of the most significant factions in the history of pro wrestling. So Balor talking about that stuff and how eventually he's going to have to try to find a balance. This reads to me like somebody who's probably not going to be with WWE for a while. And given the fact that since that match with Roman, where God knocked Finn Balor off the top, you can't make this stuff up. Since God knocked Finn Balor off the top rope in that match against the Tribal Chief, you haven't seen much of Finn Balor. You haven't seen the Demon. You don't know what's going on. And I think this is part of the whole revamping of WWE. I know some people are still trying to pump this WWE is going to be sold thing. And I look at it as, I don't think they're going to sell. I think what they're doing right now is they're changing in the new decade, and they're trying to map out what WWE is going to be in the 2020s. Which is going to be different in the 2010s. In 2010s, WWE brought in guys like Finn Balor and Shinsuke and Kevin Owens and all these other guys and girls into the company to kind of take the pro wrestling world and bring it into the WWE world. It kind of seems like I wouldn't be surprised if going forward if WWE in the 2020s is going to be them kind, and you already see it, them kind of separating. Okay, we did that. Let's get rid of a lot of those guys and girls, and now go back to us just creating average talented in-ring performers and just giving them really outlandish gimmicks, and that's going to draw in the kids, and that's going to draw in the kids' parents, and that's going to sell merchandise. And at the end of the day, WWE is not a wrestling company. They are a merchandising company. They sell things to other people. They're a sales company. That's what they do. So curious article, curious podcast. Again, I encourage you to listen to the podcast. Again, it's called My Love Letter to Wrestling podcast, and listen to what Finn Fergal had to say on that show. But I want to know what you guys think about it. What do you think Finn Balor's future is in WWE? Do you think he's going to stay? Do you think he's going to go? Do you think these comments hint towards maybe him doing something better in WWE, or him just walking out the door when his contract expires? Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Until next time, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.